And I love the fact that Castelli was so generous, was, you know, and that it was so accessible in a way. So definitely, Monsieur le Consul Général, I switched from working on the French intellectuals and the Communist Party to work on the field of American art, but keeping the same tools. My toolbox is made of a hammer, which is called history, and a tournevis, which is called sociology. So I am a social science, interdisciplinary person, and I use my tools of cultural history and sociology to attack a new territory, which is the one of the visual arts. I work on the context. I'm interested in the context of production of the paintings, and I'm interested in the other actors, the other agents around the artist who help the artist produce. There are many societies even today where artists exist, but they are not visible. In the United States, when Castelli arrived in 1941, artists were not visible. He made them visible. He identified them, he supported them, he showed them, he promoted them, he legitimized them, he changed the culture, the relationship between this country and the visual arts. You know the story, right? They were a non-married couple. She was Leo Castigliani, Liana Zonabat. It was exactly the same thing. It was an open couple, they worked together. So it was both open couples with non-traditional relationships, both affective relationship and professional relationship all their life long. I mean, this is something which appeared to me much later on. They were both people who transformed radically the configuration of their culture. And Sartre was the intellectual of post-colonial thinking. He's the one who really helped the movements of decolonization all over the world, starting with Algeria. And in a way, he is what he was an elite. I mean, he was, born, he's what I call a subversive heir. He was born, in a privileged class, but he transformed the culture of his class. Castelli, in the same level, he is somebody who completely transformed the culture of the United States, as I said before, and both of them, using an anthropological jargon, are what we call in French des passeurs. In English, it could be bridgers, connectors, people who connect, people who deal with more than one level, people who cross boundaries. In a way, Castelli is somebody who, what I discovered and what I'm describing and what my thesis is, Castelli was born in Trieste in 1907 from a Hungarian father and an Italian mother. He lived through all the persecutions of the Jews in Europe. He went from Trieste to Vienna, from Vienna to Trieste, then to Milan, then to Bucharest, to Budapest, to Paris, eventually to the United States. So he really embodies all the displacements and persecutions of the Jews in Europe. So Leo was creating a veil, a myth about himself. He was constructing this narrative, but I hate these narratives, mechanic narratives. So I decided to try and open the veil. What is there behind the veil? And that's basically the metaphor which is on this cover. You know, this, you see in the back, this is a portrait of Leo by Mapplethorpe, which was once presented in a show as a curtain, and he came for the opening out of this curtain, so he came out of himself. So this photo shows who is the real Leo behind the myth he has created about himself.